They are wealthy, we are not.
We live in cities, we live in towns.
We are born here, we came here. We are teachers, we are students, soldiers, citizens, friends, neighbors, and family.
The Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution say we are all equal and we are all free.
They say that we may have our own opinions and we speak them freely.
They say we may protect and defend ourselves.
They say no matter what our ethnic origins, we are all equal and we are all free.
This is America. We are all Americans.
just thinking America's a really unique country.
Because we're a democracy? A melting pot? A free country?
Well, yeah, but also because there are so many cool things that make us who we are.
Like movies, TV, and the radio?
And our music, our video games, our pizza, and let's not forget our apple pie.
Or our blue jeans, malls, fast food, freeway, or football.
And Broadway, the Grand Canyon, parades, amusement parks, and public transportation?
What about basketball, marching bands, teddy bears, cowboys in New York City?
Wow, we could go on, couldn't we?
America's got to be the greatest place in the world.
Yeah!
I sure do love my country.
The Star-Spangled Banner is a rich lesson in American history. Our national anthem begins with the lyrics, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light." It was the year 1814. The British and the Americans were back at war, the War of 1812. A British Navy ship anchored Fort McHenry was one elderly American prisoner, Dr. William Bean. Francis Scott Key, a young American attorney, and Colonel John Skinner were asked to take American authorizations to take a small sailing vessel onto the British ship to try to negotiate of the release of Dr. William Bean.
After the British admiral studied the papers presented, he agreed to let Dr. Bean go in a small boat with Key and Skinner.
As the Americans were about to board their small boat, the admiral stopped them abruptly. He was afraid that the Americans overheard the British plans to attack Fort McHenry that night.
He forced the Americans to stay aboard the ship overnight and watch the battle from a small room with a window below deck. So the Americans resigned themselves to a night on the British vessel. As the battle began, darkness came. They could no longer see the fort. How they wanted to know what was happening on shore.
Their only clue was a flagpole bearing the stars and stripes. They riveted their eyes on it, knowing as long as it waved, the Americans were winning.
With every flash of bursting bombs, they peered through the darkness to see if the flag was still waving. And so it continued through the night. The Americans watched fearfully for their flag through the smoke-filled skies.
Occasionally, the burst of a bomb lit the sky up enough to illuminate the flagpole.
When the dawn came, the men were exhausted from their night-long vigil. They waited eagerly for enough sunlight to see the flagpole.
They rejoiced when they saw the American flag was still waving above the fort. Americans had won the battle. Francis Scott Key was so moved that he began to write down the events the night before on an envelope from his coat pocket.
On the way back to the fort, Francis Scott Key wrote the words for verses 2 and 3. He revised the poem that night in his hotel room. The poem was printed and distributed on handbills the next day. It was later sung to a popular tune of the time.
Oddly enough, the song only became our official national anthem nearly 100 years later by executive order of President Wilson in 1916. This order was confirmed years later by an act of Congress in 1931.
Please stand for both our unique recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance and the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. As Americans, it is our privilege to sing along.